Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. How's everybody doing today? Gotta have a hot wash, man. What y'all think about the fights last night? Well, I'll tell you what. First, let me just say, let me just show you this right here. There were some people asking about Shadasia Green. MVP put a statement out. She just said, "Thank you to all my fans for your incredible support. During the final rounds of last night's fight, I suffered some injuries, which was quite obvious that there was something going on there. I'm currently resting and recovering, and I look forward to coming back better than ever. I truly appreciate all the love." I thought this was interesting right here. It says, MVP is working closely with Shadasia and her family collectively. Just want to thank New York State Athletic Commission, Madison Square Garden, and the attending hospital for their leadership and care. And that's good to see. Now, this is something I'm going to point out here. For those who watched the fight, AB and Shin with Shadasia and Lenai. Shadasia came out really strong. She was doing really good. She was winning the fight. But she had the left hand down, and Lenai figured out, her coach told, I saw the change. I don't remember what round it was when she came out. She started looping the right hand because Shadasia's left hand was down. But Lenai started having some success there. She was making it physical, so they must have paid attention to what Franchon did and how Franchon was able to have some success. And Shadasia, she was getting hit with a lot of shots. And she was landing too. But Lenai just seemed to have stronger legs and to be more resilient. Furthermore, watching Shadasia at the weigh-ins, she looked really withdrawn. I didn't think she was dehydrated or anything, but I know people were talking about the weigh-in, and I went back and watched it. And I'm not talking about what she was wearing, because I know some people were talking about that. I'm talking about even when she was flexing, because I didn't really pay attention to it until last night. People were talking. I watched it this morning. And when I look at it, I'm like, man, she looked a little withdrawn. But at the fight last night, she came in there fully hydrated. You know, one woman even commented that she needed a better bra because she was jumping up and down now. You know, the upper body was moving, you know. So she looked much healthier on the night of the fight than she did in the weigh-in. So no excuses for anything, right? But you can see that she was getting tired because Lenai was just trying to grind her down and wear her down. But what I'm trying to figure out, because I figured by the time the fight was stopped, I knew Shadasia to me, she was behind. But I was like, all right, no matter that, you know, I have a lot of respect for her and that's my buddy and shit. You know, you got to be fair when it comes to boxing. Lenai, she found a way to win. Simple. But I did notice right before the fight was stopped, the round before, Shadasia looked like there was, I don't know if it was the shots Lenai was landing on the side of their head, somewhere the back of their head. There was some headbutting, and Lenai, I don't think she was trying to fight dirty. She was just finding a way to win. Like, she was in there by all means necessary. But I saw Shadasia in the final round when she was on the ropes. You could see something happen. Now, I haven't gone back to watch the fight at that particular moment because I think part of it was an accumulation of shots. You know what I'm saying? Round after round. She wasn't parrying shots or riding with the shot. No, she was getting hit flush with a lot of punches straight to her face and on the side of the head and some on the back of the head. But she grimaced in that final exchange. She grimaced while she was on the ropes, and the referee jumped in. But she was trying to push through whatever discomfort she was experiencing. Why? I don't know. Take a knee, you know, clinch. But when you're in there and you're going through it, It's easy for us on the outside to say, could have done this, could have done that. It's different when you're in there and somebody bringing that heat to you, you know? So they stopped the fight. She's on the stool. And I saw her grimacing and pointing to her head. And I'm like, uh-oh. You know, I'm watching all this, and I'm hearing the chatter and the chaos, and I'm like, yeah, well, Claressa going to have a field day with this shit. And she came into the chat and was talking shit, and I blocked her. But I thought Shadasia may have had bleeding on the brain when I saw her do that. And this is what I'm thinking to myself as I'm watching it, right? I'm not saying this, but this is what I'm thinking. The grimace is that expression on the face. Then when she collapsed off the stool, and they brought the stretcher in, and I was like, oh man, this is all bad. So there are a lot of people who are laughing at that moment, which I'll say this. I don't think it's ever cool to laugh at somebody, especially when they collapse off their stool and a stretcher gets brought into the ring. There were some people in the chat, 2 men, laughing at it. They had to go. You know, there were just Claressa came in there. I expect her to talk trash, but I had to get her up out of there. Would I let her back in? I don't know. I just had to sit here and just kind of process everything because I expect her to talk shit, but I didn't expect her to be out here kind of celebrating seeing Green get hurt. It does seem like she tried to clean that up a bit because there's a lot of backlash when it comes to Claressa, period, but especially with her. It seemed like to be celebrating seeing Green get hurt and have to go out on a stretcher. But I figured with Claressa that she would have been more like talking trash, but once she's seeing her collapse, take a knee right there and say, uh-oh, hold on a second. And be like, I hope she's okay. I'm not trying to make light of what just happened to Green. At the same time, I just want to tell you, I told y'all, she can't beat me. I'm bigger, I'm stronger than Lenai. My hands are faster and I have a harder right hand. And if I was fighting Shadasia with her with that left hand down, my right hand would have been getting there every time. So the fight could have been stopped earlier. I could have accepted something like that. But that being said, Shadasia Green is going to return to fight. Do you all think she should return to fight? Now, I'm going to tell you, she can do what she wants. That's like telling Roy Jones he should stop fighting. And Roy Jones right now, if he got an offer to fight for some good money, he'll be there. Manny Pacquiao's still out here fighting. Look at Deontay Wilder, you know what I'm saying, or what he's gone through, and he's still out here fighting. So these women, men, whatever, you can do what you want. But with me, and I sit here and think about being 37 years old, you know, collapsing on a stool. I think, you know, the boxing is cool, right? But boxing ain't everything. You know, what's cool is to be healthy, to be around for your family and to be able to speak, to be able to function in society. So if Shadasia continues, somebody was saying Shadasia will never fight again. And I'm like, well, me personally, I'm like, I don't want to see her get hurt again. But if she continues, fine. But as far as fighting Claressa, yo, you just never know. Now you may say, well, nah, Hood, that fight won't happen. Okay. How about this, Zab Judah? He fought Carlos Baldomir. Zab Judah was a champion. Carlos Baldomir beat Zab Judah. And then Zab Judah lost and somehow still kept his titles. Because Don King, grimy ass. And then Zab Judah was supposed to fight Mayweather before Baldomir, ended up having to fight Baldomir, lost, and still went in his next fight and fought Mayweather because of Zab Judah's name, and they knew that even though he lost, that's still a huge fight. So when you think about Shadasia, you think about Claressa. Although Shadasia lost, Shadasia and Claressa is still a fight that people would pay to see. It's still a fight that would create a lot of hype. And it's still a fight that Claressa may take, and you can't blame her. You know why? Because Claressa has no one else to fight. She has no one else to fight. Shadasia was the one that, at least for me, I said, you got to make Claressa the favorite against anyone she favors, but maybe Shadasia has the kryptonite, right? That was a talk on the channel. That was a talk, joke about it and everything, but I seriously felt that way. Like, Claressa should be the favorite. She finds a way to up it. She's undefeated. She's been perfect in the ring. Kind of hard to go against her, right? I always say that. Even though some of the viewers are like, man, you're giving her too much credit. I'm like, look, say what you want about her personality and attitude. Claressa gets busy. And I think that's why she comes to my channel so much, because she's like, all right, Hood makes his jokes and he does his videos and and all that shit, Cinnamon Toast Crunch and the Goldies. But when he gets serious and talks boxing, he gives me my credit. So maybe that's why she likes to come to the channel. But that being said, I do think there's still an opportunity to make that fight. Now, do I think Shadasia should take it? Well, this is what's going to boil down to. What do you do? Her against Claressa is still a big money fight. There are some people out here who feel like, Claressa's going to win easily. I think Claressa wins that fight. I don't even think it. I know Claressa will win that fight. And this is why. Whatever Shadasia experienced in there, I think that's going to affect her mentally. Knowing that she's going up against Claressa, who's faster, stronger, I think that affects her mentally. Will she get in shape? Will she go in there? Will she do her best? Yeah. Will she win against Claressa? I don't think so. And the thing is the weight. But if she was dehydrated, then maybe she gets in there and it's competitive. But I just got to be honest with you. I don't think anyone beats Claressa Shields. But that's what I've been saying. I don't think, but I no longer feel there's any kryptonite out there for Claressa. There's no one else for this woman to fight. Somebody's like, well, Raquel Miller. Negative. Raquel Miller, man, I like her. She can fight. It's at this point in time, Claressa need to go and wrestle a goddamn crocodile. Like, really, she need to head on over to Australia, right? And going out there with them Aborigine and them Crocodile Dundees and find her one of them goddamn saltwater crocs and just dive in there with the 15-footer and, get the cameras rolling and wrestle them. And I'll be honest with you, I think Claressa beats the 15-foot saltwater crocodile. If it bites her, she bites it back. If it does the death roll, she takes control of the roll, and then she rolls that shit to death. I'm just being real with you. So for Shadasia Green, man, I hope she, hopefully everything is okay. It was just a matter of some dehydration and taking a lot of shots, but nothing where there's any bleeding on the brain or nothing like that. So far so good. It looked like it's just she was getting overwhelmed, got exhausted, had some injuries that they didn't specify the injury. It just said some injuries. I didn't see her limping, see her holding her arm. I didn't see her wincing. I just saw the grimace on her face and pointing to her head. So that tells me maybe she developed some kind of, migraine or something happened. Anyway, good luck to Shadasia, man. If she continues fighting, she just got to be careful, coming back stronger and better than ever. Maybe she need to move up in weight. I don't know. But I'll tell you what, no one expected Lenai Daniels to win that fight. So this is my question. Lenai Daniels, where were you during the Claressa Shields fight? Where were you? Because when you were in there with Claressa, all you needed was a unicycle and some tangerines to pedal around like you in a circus and juggle them shits. Because you ain't even try to fight Claressa. You ran around in there laughing, smiling, like in the circus. Only thing we needed was a bear running around there, a bearded lady, some trapeze artist. What the hell? Now, remember, I did a video on Lenai Daniels where I knew that, I was like, yo, there's something special about it, but it didn't show up for Claressa. Where I saw she had won all these regional titles. But remember, I did the video. And several people were like, whoa, I didn't know she had all this. Because they're looking at her performance against Claressa Shields. And you didn't see anything except later in the fight. She started to fight a little bit, but you really didn't see anything special. So then when it comes to her and Shadasia Green fighting, I did say, you know what? Don't be surprised if, Shadasia and AB have more difficult fights than what Claressa had with Lenai and what Dubois had with Shin. Because these women lost. As a result of losing, especially to someone like Claressa, you realize that you have some deficiencies. You go back and you have a chance to work on it. So in your next fight, you don't make those same mistakes. That's what I think happened there with Lenai. Is like she went back home and her and her team and said, hey, look, later in the fight, you started to have some success, but you just, basically you threw away the first half of the fight by, acting like you were a clown in a circus. So we can't make that mistake here. We have a huge opportunity to pick up 2 belts. They're setting the stage for Green. They hit a Grand Slam, defeat you, and go into a big money fight with Claressa. And that's what I think happened. She got in there, and she was locked and loaded because she didn't want to lose again. I'm not going to pull it up right now. I don't feel like I'm going to pull up BoxRec. Matter of fact, I will pull it up. Because with Lenai Daniels, let me, this right here probably, let me see, BoxRec. I just want to confirm something, and I'm going to share it with you right now as it processes. I think she had 2 back-to-back losses entering the Shadasia Green fight. So as this is pulling up, and that matters. That's something that we should point out, and we should table for discussion as this is processing. Let me go right here too. Everything running slow this morning, man. We had some poor weather out here, which is crazy. It's like when is this damn rain and these overcast skies gonna go away? You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm waiting on. Okay, here we go. This tab is working just fine. I just want to check this out because it's put my fan on. There it is right here. It sounds like she had a couple back-to-back losses. All right, we go. There she goes right here. So let me show y'all what I'm talking about. All right, this is Lenai Daniels, 12 win, only 2 KOs. Well, that's the problem. They thought she was not going to have the power to hurt Green. She thought she was going to be an easy win. Now, she just fought Green. Let's scroll down here. This is the fight. She fought Shadasia Green. Now, this is why they picked her. Right here. She fought, in December, she fought Sarah Shurich. In July, she fought Claressa Shields. So that is what it is. So then she lost by unanimous decision to Claressa, and she lost by unanimous decision to Sarah Shurich. So she comes to fight Shadasia Green now, and she could not lose, and she was able to get a TKO in the 9th round. Now y'all understand what happened there? So Lenai Daniels, her back was against a wall, and she had to get the victory. So Lenai Daniels learned from the Claressa Shields loss, and she learned from the Sarah Shurich loss. She knew that she had to get in there and perform. And I think they had that conversation. By any means necessary, whatever you have to do, you need to win. And she is very lucky, because if she would have lost, her career would have come to an end. Because you know what's crazy about it? I'm going to show you what's crazy about it. When she lost here to Sarah, the German fighter, she had 6 wins and 0 losses. So she lost to somebody who had 6 only 6 fights. You know what I'm saying? And then Claressa, of course, had 16 and over. And then Shadasia had 16 wins and like 11 knockouts or something. So who would have thought that Lenai Daniels would have gotten the ring and did the business against Shadasia? Like, Shadasia was no kidding supposed to hit a home run. But, you know, what happened, happened. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Anyway, we'll see what the future holds for Shadasia. But I'm gonna tell you right now, when it comes to Claressa, ain't nobody beating her, man. You know, I just gotta be real with you. I just don't think nobody beats her. Plus, she's out here on social media letting the world know that you know, the dream team, her and Dubois, keep them MVP chumps far away from us, the real killers. This right here, this is the problem. Dubois. Now, I'm going to watch what I say. I almost said something just now, but I don't want to talk like that. But I'll tell you, I'll just put it to you this way. Caroline Dubois, she's taking it to the stupid. She needs to hold her horses. Claressa Shields is out here putting Dubois in the mix of all kind of drama. All kind of drama. She want to post these images of her and Dubois. Let me tell you something. Does Dubois not realize that, at least to me, it seems like she's being exploited? You know what I'm saying? That's just how I see it. It seems like she's being exploited. You know, it just doesn't seem like Claressa is really all about Dubois, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. I think there's some respect there, but I think Claressa ultimately, what's most important to her is getting under Jake Paul's skin, getting under the women's skin. You know what I'm saying? That's my opinion. Because she's out here and basically making it seem like it's her and Dubois against Dubois, her promotional company. You see all these images that are out there? Those aren't the kind of images, if I was Dubois' team, that I would want out there. You got someone like Claressa Shields who's disrespecting Jake, disrespecting the women on MVP. And now you have someone who signed the MVP who basically is guilty by association. And it just makes Caroline Dubois look horrible. Anyway, you come here. You see this guy here. He says, well, Jake and Nikisa and Serrano should drop Caroline and have you sign her to T-Rex Promotions and to Salida Promotions, where you guys are offering $8 million deals. Or Caroline, make up your mind and stay away from the drama that comes with Claressa. He is 100% correct. You know what I'm saying? The next person, to Dubois. My recommendation, be careful surrounding yourself with gutter sniper behavior. Aren't you at MVP? Don't let bad behavior affect your brand and livelihood. And I tend to agree with what they're saying. You know what I'm saying? I tend to agree. I'm telling you, man. She gotta be careful. She gotta be careful. I don't know what Dubois is thinking. I don't know what Jake Paul is thinking, what Nikisa, I don't know what they're thinking when they see that Claressa is out here doing these things and Dubois is right there basically co-signing. This is why I said it before. When I first saw Claressa post something, I was the first one to comment on that. I said, this ain't going to end up good for Caroline. Now, does it mean Jake Paul is going to come out here and they're going to cut her? I don't think so. Because at the end of the day, as far as Claressa, I think she is right when she says that she and Dubois may be the top dogs. I think she may be right. But the thing about Caroline Dubois, she's still got to fight Alycia Baumgardner. Now, when you talk about Baumgardner fighting Shin, that was a tough fight. I know Alycia won that fight, but that fight didn't go the way I thought it was going to go. I knew it could get ugly in there, but I said, if Alycia is throwing those shots, maybe she lands something. You know what I'm saying? But I knew when it came to it that it wasn't going to be easy because of Shin. I know about them Korean fighters, man. Everybody who followed the channel, they were hearing me talk about it. In my time in Korea, I said you got to kill him. And there were people who were commenting, they were like, yeah, now we understand what you were talking about. One person was like, man, I didn't think you knew what you were talking about. I'm like, my man, I'm not here making up stuff. And you saw last night, I knew Dubois had her hands full. When she fought Shin, I knew Alycia was going to have her hands full. And she did. And to me, she's lucky to get away with a victory. But that being said, Alycia, she wants nothing to do with Dubois. So my question is Alycia putting duck sauce on the fried rice? Because she's going after Katie Taylor and Serrano. Katie Taylor should never get that fight. Katie Taylor's over with Matchroom. They have one fight left for her, and I don't think they're gonna have her fight Baumgardner. You know, I think Katie Taylor would be too much for Baumgardner early in the fight. As the fight goes on, with Baumgardner in the 3-minute rounds, I think Baumgardner starts to get back in the fight, and it becomes very interesting, possible stoppage. But this is the problem with making a Katie Taylor Baumgardner fight. Katie Taylor's not fighting 3-minute rounds. She's not doing it. So for that reason alone, I don't see the fight happening. And I'm just being honest with you. I don't see Katie Taylor in no way, shape, or form wanting to fight Baumgardner. Is Katie Taylor putting the duck sauce on the fried rice? No. She at the end of her career. Why would she come now and fight a 3-minute round against her? Let's understand something. Katie Taylor is the big dog. Katie Taylor is the A-side. Katie Taylor there's no putting skin in the game bullshit for Katie Taylor. If anything, Katie Taylor would tell AB, hey, you the puppy. You put skin in the game. You've done nothing compared to me. You see what I'm saying? So it'll be interesting if there's a conversation. But I'm telling you, I don't expect to see that fight materialize. Now, the fight that I do see happening is AB against Serrano. Now, people are split on this one. I see some people saying AB gets her. Other people are saying, nah, no way. Serrano is too much of a dog, too much stamina, too much power, too many combinations. And once they start letting that leather fly, that Serrano would get the best of AB. And for those who are saying, now that fight wouldn't happen, they both fight 3-minute rounds. They're both on the MVP, right? So I think the fight can happen. Will it happen next? I don't know. But this puts Alycia Baumgartner in a tough position because she needs to move up the ladder. You know what I'm saying? Not reverse. So she got to figure out what direction she wants to go. Because if she's not fighting Baumgardner, if she's not fighting some of them killers, she's gonna have to sort some things out. Who does she fight? Now this is her right here. That right there is Baumgardner. You know what I'm saying? And this is a clip from the end of the round. She get into an exchange like that with Amanda Serrano, who knows what happens. But I'm just sitting here trying to envision AB not getting the Serrano fight next, not getting the Taylor fight next. Well, who does she fight? Now, let me show you something that's interesting here. She may have to do this right here. I'm going to show you. Which is what, where is it? Right here. If she can't get those fights, she may have to fight this person, Caroline Veer, for the WBC strap. Because Alycia Baumgardner is at 130 pounds. You see, that may be who she has to fight. Or she can fight one of these ladies from up here at 135 pounds. You know, Alif Nur Turhan or Stephanie Hahn, if Caroline Dubois is not going to fight one of them, that would be a good fight for Alycia just to make a statement. Say, look, I'm going to come up to 135 and I'm going to clip one of them, but then she'd be giving up her titles at 130. So I don't know what the future holds for Baumgardner. But styles make fights. I think her and Serrano is interesting. I think Katie Taylor stylistically is all bad the first half of that fight. Katie Taylor is going to land. She's explosive, those combinations. She's fast as hell. She's mean, but she gets tired. So the second half of the fight is where I think Baumgartner can start to have success. Against Serrano, I don't know how that fight goes because they both like to exchange. That would be a very competitive fight. A lot of people siding with Serrano. I'm telling you, I don't know. As far as anything else with AB, I don't know, man. She's been fighting for a while now. She wants money. I don't know. But when it comes to Jake Paul and ESPN and the ladies that he has, I think more and more people are going to tune in because although Shadasia lost, that doesn't mean that the program was poorly represented. No, it was very entertaining. When those women fight, it's very entertaining. Now, the one I'm going to tell you right now, I can't remember her first name, but Rosado, the Puerto Rican fighter, she can scrap. She's a really good fighter. But I'll sit back here and see how it all plays out. But when it comes to Claressa Shields, I'll end this video talking about this for about 5 minutes. Then taking my son, my youngest son and I are about to roll, right? I understand why people don't like Claressa Shields. I've always understood why they don't like her, why some people hate her. And with me, I just, like I said, I don't like her. I don't dislike her. I always found her interesting. But that shit she did last night, I mean, you expect some trash talk. But I thought that was some, that was some dog, some dog nasty behavior, you know what I'm saying? And I see people saying if that would have been Claressa who got stopped and collapsed on a stool, everybody would have been clowning Claressa. Maybe they would have been. Well, what would you have said, Hood? I would have said like I always say, especially when we're talking about her being in New York and how there seemed to be a group of women who want to world star her. That I don't want to see Claressa get hurt. You know what I mean? I don't want to see any fighter get hurt. Nothing that serious. So if that would have happened to Claressa, I would have been saying the same thing, like, hey, look, I know y'all don't like her, but that girl's hurt. But at the same time, Claressa has created her own misery. Now, if you can tell me something Shadasia said towards men, towards women, towards fellow fighters that was destructive in nature, then I'll shut up. You come and show me where Shadasia has done things similar to Claressa Shields consistently, then I'll shut up. But if you can't put the Claressa Shields jacket on Shadasia, then y'all need to hold your horses and stop taking it to the stupid. Because I don't know of anything Shadasia's done that would have warranted people to celebrate seeing her collapse off that stool. I get the shit talk with her losing, right? That's what fans do. It's the internet. No big deal. Comes with the territory. But celebrating seeing her collapse like that. And I even seen people say some other stuff that was just horrible. And I'm like, internet ain't real. But for Claressa Shields, I totally get it. When the ladies talk about it's not just the boxing, the marriage, the mouth, the this, the that, everything, from everything. I don't even feel like regurgitating all that shit right now. I hear everything the ladies say, everything. But that last night, I was like, that's crazy. She did the same thing to Franchon, didn't she? You see these women out here and hurt, and you make a mockery of it. It's almost like you celebrate it. And then when you get some pressure, you come back and want to act like, oh, well, I hate seeing that happen. You meant what you said. You know what I'm saying? What first came out your mouth is what you meant. So, I'm going to still do my thing. I'm not going to be like these other channels and just some of the shit they say about Claressa is foul. But what I will tell you is I 100% get it. I always saw things and understood, but that shit last night, I was like, yo, It clicked like, she did this shit to Franchon. She knew Franchon since they were teenagers. I have friends that I grew up with that we fell out. We don't talk. You think I'm going to celebrate cats I grew up with? Just because we got older and we go different, we just don't see things the same. Ain't no way in the world I celebrated something bad happened to them guys. Because there's some history there. There's some shit that we went through that, you know what I'm saying? No matter what happened in life, I ain't gonna celebrate nothing because, to be honest with you, neither one of us should have had the lives that we had based on just being young and dumb. So when I saw her do that to Franchon, I'm like, yo, this chick is wild. But when she did it to Shadasia, I'm like, yeah, she don't care. She don't care. Hey, you know who need to really be concerned here is Papoose, Pap. That's who need to be concerned here. Because boy, oh boy, if he humiliates her, what would she do to him? Telling you, man, ain't nothing cool to wake up and have the ass cut out your drawers. Women could be something else. And I ain't gonna talk about the weigh-ins. Women, do what you want. Come on out there butt naked if you want. Hood champion will be tuning in. But Papoose need to be paying attention to this shit. Understand what he got himself into. Fatal attraction. Better be careful. Pap, give me a call and shit. We head down to Ying King Chinese restaurant, get our fried rice and chicken wings. Drink some sweet tea and have a conversation. Because I'm telling you, Papoose got his hands full with that one. If she decide to misplace her self-government and put a foot in his ass, ain't gonna be nothing nice. Anyway, I'm about to run up with my boy, man. I appreciate the support. I enjoy talking with y'all on the lives. I enjoy laughing. I appreciate the insight. All the texts you guys send me, keep me in the loop on things. Because y'all know I'm from the old school. I don't be on the internet like that. But I hope you have a good Saturday, all right? I'll probably go live tonight, a little bit later. But I'll be live. In the breeze.